Man, sometimes the only right move is to absolutely cut off your friends. It's not easy to say, but it is true. Sometimes there's a person or multiple people in your life that is taking up more space than they give. And man, sometimes it ain't even that deep. Sometimes it's not even that personal. Sometimes it's just like, dude, like, you're weird. You can go be weird over there. Don't weird up my space. Don't weird up my life. It's a real thing that happens, and it happens more often than you think. You don't really know about it until you're too deep in it. So if this is happening to you, just know that it's a normal part of life. It's a normal part of socializing. It sucks. It's weird. It's awkward, but it is normal. So one of you guys actually reached out to me and you said, I've been friends with this dude for a few years and I've come to realize he's not really the kind of company I want to keep anymore. I don't really like the kinds of things he says or the way that he treats people. He always picks someone in the friend group and relentlessly picks on them. And when we get upset about it, he tells us to just quit being a little bitch. He's also the type to sleep with somebody and give you every last detail and doesn't even care where we're at. You know, we were in a grocery store around kids and elderly people, and he's talking about all the nasty things he did with this lady the night before, where everybody can hear him. He doesn't respect people, doesn't respect their boundaries, and it's always a measuring contest whenever people are around him. So I decided to cut him off, and I've been ghosting him, and I guess he's pretty upset about it, and has been talking about it behind my back. Should I have said something to him before just ghosting him and cutting him off? Or do I not owe him an explanation? Should I have handled it differently? Man, first off, I just want to come out the gate and say, I think that you handled this pretty well. I think there's rarely ever a right answer. I don't want to hit you with any type of a cop-out, because obviously you're looking for some direct perspective here, but just know it's very rare that there's like a wrong way to handle stuff. But let's pretend that's not a factor. Let's pretend we're trying to optimize this. We're trying to get out our productivity wands here and make this the best it could be. I think you did all right. I think there's some holes in your perspective based on what I'm reading, but overall I'd give you easily a B+, A-. I mean, like, not for nothing, this guy sounds super weird. I don't know what his deal is with like talking about sexual things in public and especially in front of kids and elderly people. It's just weird. It's not normal. It doesn't seem like there's any type of like tact or joke there. Just kind of sounds honestly like a man-child. Like in the least generic way, this guy just sounds like a freaking weirdo. Just sounds like somebody that's like, dude, like, are you actually 13? So I just want to validate you. This would not stand in my life. And in terms of like, you know, him saying to everybody like, oh, quit being a little bitch. I'm a little bit more on the edgy side when it comes to humor. But honestly, if the way he deflects his jokes that don't land is by saying everybody else is being sensitive, then I surely doubt he's that funny in the first place. And with toxic people, I'm just going to call him toxic just for the sake of defining it as something. With toxic people, it's, you know, when you're young, and, you know, I'm saying this as a 28-year-old man. I'm sure there's somebody that's in their 30s or 40s that's going to watch this and be like, you're young, my friend, don't worry. But like, not for nothing, I'm 28 years old. I'm freshly 28. I have cut off my fair share of people, and that goes in my teenage years, that goes into my 20s, that goes into my mid-20s, and that goes into my late 20s. And something that I'm noticing as I get older is that the fallout is, it gets smaller and smaller every single person that I decide to take an issue with. You know, back when I was like 18, 19, it used to go up in flames. It used to be a big dramatic thing. It used to be like, you know, setting out the drum roll, the red carpet was laid out, and it was like a public execution. Whereas now, and I really feel like this is kind of what you're dealing with, is instead of things going out with a big like gunshot, now it goes out with kind of like a fizzle. It's super anticlimactic, and I feel like, you know, as men and as, you know, people with, you know, kind of that Gen Z younger perspective, you probably expect things to go out in a big way. But the reality is as you get older, you mature and you start to get a little more perspective under your belt. You start to go through more experiences. You start to see people not only as like, oh, like this is my friend, but you look at people like, oh, like this is the man I'm looking at. Like, how does he feel about himself? And instead of things going like, oh, we're gonna have a big argument, I'm gonna give him my dissertation, it starts to become moments where it's kind of more like a natural selection, honestly. So it sounds like, you know, you're saying like, oh, the guy has a problem with you behind your back. I think if I was in your shoes, I would really examine that. Like, what is he saying behind your back? Is he trying to damage your reputation behind your back? Because if he is, then that's when you address it. When there's actual damage damages to be accounted for, then that's when you could take him to task. That's when you pull him to the side and be like, dude, like, this is a symptom of the way that you act. This has nothing to do with me. If you want to disrespect my perspective, that's fine. Don't drag down my character. I don't like you. I don't want to be your friend. I wish you the best, and you can go do the best elsewhere, far, far away from me. But keep my name out of your mouth. It's not where it belongs. And there's a way to do that with all due respect. But let's say he's just expressing frustrations behind your back because he's like, dude, I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get why you cut me off. Because like, bro, I got plenty of people that I've been friends with who probably think I'm whack. I have a lot of friends who I was really tight with at one point where I guarantee you they talk behind my back. I mean, like, why wouldn't they? I've had people where I've addressed friendship and been like, yo, like, I don't think that you really treat me like a friend, so maybe we shouldn't be. Guarantee you they talk behind my back. They would talk bad about me to my face, let alone behind my back. I could almost guarantee it. But I was 10 toes down. I stood on what I wanted to say. I stood on business, and I feel good about it. Things didn't really go up in flames, but the reality is I stopped hanging out with them. I stopped giving them time of day, and I'm better off for it. And I really feel like as you get older, this is how 99% of adult friendships end, as long as there isn't like one direct, specific, disrespectful moment. And honestly, like, let's say I was being weird. Let's say I was being the person who maybe my jokes weren't landing, or I was pushing people away. It would be infinitely more nightmarish if the friendship dissolved slowly rather than one big moment. Because if it's one big moment, you could point at it and be like, wow, that was crazy. That was the one big moment. I lost it all. But when it slowly starts to fizzle out and it's almost like the friendship gets walked out of the room, that's when you start to think. That's when you look in the mirror. That's when you're like, wow, like my phone used to light up on Fridays. Now it doesn't light up at all. And that's kind of coinciding with me trying out this different type of humor, or me pushing people away, or me just genuinely not being a nice person. And you never know. That could cause a whole series of events for him mentally where maybe he actually tries to address his problems. Maybe he tries to get better. Maybe he rehabilitates his really weird, personality, weird tendencies. Maybe he goes to therapy. This is how people get better as adults. It's self-actualization. It's self-reflection. And a lot of that stuff happens slowly. A lot of it is a slow burn, 1% per day. And cutting him off like this, where it's just, you know what, I don't feel like talking to this guy. That's just how it's done. That's just how it's done. You're a dude, you're an adult, and a lot of friendships end this way because it's like, dude, like, why am I gonna have a breakup with you? Like the burden should not be on you, the person who's asking this. The burden shouldn't be on you. You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't do anything weird. You showed up for your friendship like you always do. He's the one who was being weird. The burden should be on him. That's objective truth. And if he ever takes you to task over that, truth is on your side. Objective reality is literally on your side. And the case with like Manchildren is a lot of the times reality isn't on their side. And even if they struggled with that, they struggle to come to grips with the fact that they're not living in an actual reality, that is their problem, and that will push them further away. And it's not just going to be you. If you have the foresight to see where this friendship is going and you cut him off and you do it in your own silent way, you think you're the only one? There's no way you're the only one. I'd be surprised if you're the first person to ever do it. You're definitely not going to be the last. And take it from me, man. Like, I've been through the ringer with friendships, relationships, and with life. I've been called fake. I've been called mean. I've been talked behind my back. I've been disrespected to my face with a smile. I have seen it all. I've had toxic friendships. I've had good friendships go stale. I've had stale friendships get better. I feel like at this point, even though I have so much growing to do and I have so much aging to do, I feel like I've seen it all. I think the way to go here, and you don't have to listen to me, but if I was strategizing and I was min-maxing, I would say just let it fizzle. Let it be quiet unless you're provoked. And if you don't even have the energy to explain it, like, you don't owe him anything. Why do you gotta clock in because he's weird? Like that's so entitled. Like, could you imagine if I went in public and I caused a scene in the local Walmart and started ripping things off the shelves and acting not like a human? And then, I don't know, like somebody near me started to slowly inch away. And imagine if I said, no, you have to be here right next to me while I'm screaming and being insane. Like, no, what type of insane entitlement is that? I know I'm not the best with analogies, but bear with me. Why do you have to own his bad behavior and then start clocking in based on that behavior? It's ridiculous. It's childish. So yeah, man, I think you're doing a good job. Do your thing, cut this guy out, and better yet, focus specifically on you. Put that time, put that thought process into you, your goals, in your people, live your life with a smile, and yeah, that's pretty much my take on that. If any of you guys want me to address some advice you guys need in a video, feel free to comment it right now, leave it below this video. I'll even have a pinned comment set up. You can reply to that. If you want advice, this is the time. I'm happy to start making videos on advice if people actually want it. And I also have a Discord linked in the description. You could also ask for advice in there. A lot of people like to vent what they have going on, their frustrations, their goals, etc., their habits. It's a good community. I'm having a good time in there chatting with you guys. And we have like well over 100 members now, so it's going pretty well. But yes, my friends, that is my time. Hope you guys have a great day. And if you're in the Northeast United States, hope you're staying cool. I know I'm not. I'm actually currently sweating as I record this.